All right, what do we have here? 1998 Mercedes SLK230. It's a very popular car. Everyone who sees it on the road knows what they are. It's a compressor. What? A compressor. 4-cylinder, 2.3 liter, 185 horsepower. Very small car, good horsepower. But there's issues with this car. What are the primary issues with this car? Well, I see them available online for sale, and there's two customary problems with this car. What are the problems? Well, it's a hardtop convertible. Most hardtop convertibles built back then, the early 2000s and late 90s, well, they suffer from the same issue as the SL500. It's up there, you can't see it. The SL500 has the same issue. They often leak. Yes, hydraulic fluid or the pitocin fluid or whatever hydraulic fluid that you decide to use, oftentimes will start to leak out the cylinders at the top, in the rear, in the front, near the sun visors. And that's what's going on with this one. Yeah, the top does go back, it does retract, and it does close back, but it leaks. So you say, well, maybe the fluid level is low in the back, and it is. So whenever your top doesn't retract or go back into position, check the fluid levels back here, and in this case it's overfilled. Why is it overfilled? Because we know that it has a leak, and because after operating it one time, it will lose a substantial amount of fluid. And so for the purpose of this vehicle, he's trying to get it to his destination, and he wants the top to work for a few times. And so we overfilled it just to make sure that it does do what it's supposed to do. But we know that there is an issue and it has to be resolved. This is just a temporary fix. Don't add too much fluid, because if you do, you can ruin the pump. In this case, he understands the risk. He wanted it to be overfilled, and it's going to do what it does. It will work. This is a temporary solution just in order for the pump to operate, for the top to work for the amount of times, for the limited time period that it needs for it to work. So you add fluid. You see right here, right? You see this hex type head? Well, you have one of those back here. You can see it right back in there, in between here. I don't want. You can't see it if I stick my hand in there that way. Let me see if I can do it with the other hand. And whatever. It's back there. I can't point to it right now, but you can see it right there. That silver head right there, it has a washer, a copper washer. It has the same, I can't remember what size Allen key that you need, but it's the same as that fits into this one. So keep in mind that there's a washer back there. So when you remove this one, catch that washer. It tends to want to stay on the actual pump. The screw will lift up. Remove the screw, don't drop it back there. Take the washer and remove that as well. Don't drop that washer. You need that for a good seal. Make sure when you put it back on there, you put it on there tight. So what I use is one of those hand pumps to pump fluid into the reservoir, right there into the tank. So get it in there, pump it slow. It will fill this up. This line right here is when the top is up, and this is when the top is down. These are the fluid levels that you need to be paying attention to. Again, once again, this is overfilled on purpose. Don't do this. So this line right here is when the top is up. This line is when the top is down. Those are the fluid levels that you want. So again, if you're low on fluid, you have to ask yourself why, because this is a closed system. It should not be low on fluid at any time. I don't care about with age, with time, fluid decreases. It doesn't. I mean, the fluid level should remain the same. If it's low, it's because you have a leak. This is a closed system. Fluid does not expand and contract to the point where you should have low levels without an explanation. So you have to figure out why it's leaking. Now, if you have a leak, it's going to require you getting access to those struts or those valves or whatever you call them. Usually it's going to be the O-ring that's compromised, just like in the SL system, and you're going to have to fix that. That's why you see a lot of these on the market with non-working tops. So that is your number one issue that you're going to have with these SLKs. Besides that, it is a Mercedes, so they do, build these with a level of quality, but these are not the best built, most reliable cars. That 2.3 liter motor is not the best I've seen a lot of these overheating. I've seen some with blown head gaskets. I've seen some of them with making a lot of engine noise. It might be lifter noise. Whatever the case being, if you're gonna buy one of these, make sure you look for those two things. Make sure the motor is good, check the oil levels, make sure you don't have a blown head gasket, check the coolant, check the oil, make sure they're not mixing. Make sure that coming out the exhaust, you don't have any kind of bluish smoke coming out the exhaust. And also make sure that top works. Check the pump, check the fluid level, make sure that it's up to par. Unfortunately, also, they have like some cosmetic flaws with these cars where, I don't know why, but Mercedes, they painted like the vinyl, the dash, the center console, just like an overlay, like a paint that eventually starts to peel off. It's just like a common flaw with these cars. I think they have, I can't think of the model, but it's like the hatchback version of a C-Class or whatever. It's a small car, probably built on the same chassis as this, I'm not sure. But they usually do like a two-color interior. I mean, it looks real cool, especially when it's new, but over time, it just starts to wear. Sometimes you see them with red, gray. This is like a kind of like a grayish tan. I don't know what color this is. Oh yeah, so regarding that fluid, you will see it leaking right up in there. It'll start seeping out the top because you have to drop all this headliner stuff to get access to it, to fix it, to replace it. The little strut or the little valve that leaks. So anyways, that's what it is. So again, this is an SLK230, just a quick review. This one actually has low miles. It's not on, the dash is not on, but it's only like 70,000 miles, so that's pretty cool. But cool little car. Typically the people that would buy these, kind of like same people that would buy like a Mazda Miata or just like a little small roadster of some sort. Not a lot of like power if you're trying to race or feel like you're in an exotic sports car, but it's just a good cruiser, just a good car to drop the top. But just keep in mind that this car has characteristic flaws to it, and it's good to just look for those if you're ever considering buying one of these. It does say compressor, so that is impressive, but look up the specs, make sure it's up to par as to what you're looking for. All right, that's it. Go Autoworks. I'm out.